Dear friends, welcome back to the iPhone app tutorial series. This is video number 23. We have done a lot so far. We have completed two out of the three major functions, which is adding, updating books, deleting books, all the functions in terms of adding, updating, deleting has been done. We have also done queries. The display screen has been created. We query based upon book status. That has been completed as well. We have fixed some of the nuances in terms of refreshing screen, making it more user interactive and intuitive. And today we are going to focus on the third and the final element of the book tracker tutorial, which is search. So without further ado, let's go ahead and open the app. So open Xcode, the book tracker tutorial application, and there you are. Let's quickly run it to see which part of the function we're going to draw today. So run this. We've taken iPhone standard edition second generation as the simulator for showing the app. And today for the demo purpose, we are going to add some more books, which will help us to do some of the search functions in a better way. So I'm going to go ahead and add some books accordingly. Okay, so there you go. It's building up. Okay, takes a little bit time. So we have nothing in reading, nothing in to be read, and a couple of them in the read category. So let's do this. Let's add few more books. Go ahead and add. Let's say The War That Saved My Life. All right. The author is Kimberly Bradley. Okay. Genre is fiction. And let's say to be read. And then let's add this. So you can see this is what we did last time. It's coming to be read, showing the book. Brilliant. Let's go ahead and add one more. Let's say Iron Thunder by Avi. This is non-fiction, and again let me say to be read and add this. So we have two in the to be read, we have two in to read, which we have read, and we're going to put few on currently reading. So let's say life as we knew it. This is by, let's say, Susan. Genre is fiction, and I say currently reading. Perfect. Add this as well, and let's add one more. Now you can see how beautifully it is rendering wherever you are taking it to. Now let's add one more book. Let's say Dead Wake by Eric Larson. Okay, and this is again a non-fiction. This is a historical non-fiction. We'll also work on subgenre as well. Let's say fiction. Thriller is a kind of fiction, so we can add this subgenre. We will do that part as well in one of the upcoming tutorial, how to do that. Okay, and let's say we can make it currently reading and add this. So perfect. So we have two in reading, two in to be read, two in what we have already read. Okay, now let's go back and see what we need to do. We want to do search. We'll do a simple one today. We'll create a text box. We'll put a search button, and what we want to do is, for now we'll say that you can search on any book and it'll get you the book, right? So you have to enter the book name, and it'll give you the book accordingly. Okay, so let's stop this. You know that to design the screen, you go to the storyboard, and in the storyboard we'll make it simple, make it a little big, and then let's add a text field. stretch it to make it a sizable thing. We will need a button, right? Okay, so let's say button, pull this over here. Go back to the properties and give it a name. Let's say we'll give it a name search, right? And if you want, you can give an image also. So let's say you can search magnifying glass. That's how it search should look like. Okay, and the image. Let's make it a little bigger to see. Here you go. You see the image. Make it a little sizable here. And here, maybe I can move a little bit over here. Make this up to here. And let's use these two. You know, you need to put the constraints. I have taught this before to you. So add the missing constraint. Perfect. You need somewhere to display the result. Let's say we'll need a table view controller. Will show all the results. So plus table view. Bring the table view out here. Align it to maybe this one. Make it large enough as you like. Right, for now we'll keep it like this. Okay, and what we'll do is we have to again add the missing constraint. Okay, if you don't like the background color, you know how to change it. You take the view control, the view, and you can change it to, let's say for now we'll make it white color. Okay, it's much more visible, and you can change the color according. If you want a little grayish, you can do that as well. Okay, so now that we have done this, we need a file where you're going to write all the code. So have we created one? We haven't so far. So this is a view controller. So you go to file, new file, and you'll create a Cocoa Touch class. And let's name it as search view controller. Okay. Once you create the file, you'll see it right over here that is coming. Now what we need to do is we need to go back to your main storyboard, go back to our search, select the view controller, and you have to refer to the view controller in the properties, the custom class properties. So you created a search view controller, attach it. Now your search view controller is attached here, right? Right now there's no functionality, but just run to see how the alignment of the different components that widgets you have put has come together. So when you run, if you go to search, you can see that these are all empty right now. You can see that it's right here. You can type something. It will do nothing if you click it, because we have not written any functions so far. Okay, so let's stop this. Now what do we need to do? Let's first try to get all the references back for the text box, for the button, for the table view, back into our search. You know how to do it. Split your screen and make one of the screen. Click on the area, make one of the search view control. This is where it is. All the comments that you have, you don't need this. Okay. So we go to the search. That's the search one. So you know how to do the connections. Press the control and within the class drop it. This is a text field. we'll make a weak connection. We will name this as, this is for search, right? So search, and you can give any name, but I usually like to give the name, the functions, which is like search. And if the text field, say text field, it's easy for us to know when we are trying to make some relation and coding in our class file. So here you go, you have formed a search text field. Similarly, you need one for the button. So this is a search again, the search button. So you can say search button. Okay, actually search button, we don't need a outlet, we need a function when it clicks, right? So we are not going to change any properties of this, so you can cancel this. We'll rather do drag it again, but drag it within the class again, but instead of, yeah, so you can see action. This is touch up inside, so when you're touching this, it will be a search button action. So when you have action, you say action, it is easy for you to understand. This is a button, this is for search. Connect this, so you get this function, and then the table view. Table view also, you connect it. You know, for the table view, you have to do a few more things. You have to make the class aware of its source and the data properties. We have done this before. It will be a good refresher for you again, but let's first name it. This is the search table view, right? Okay. Brilliant. So we have the connectors, we have the function for now. Let's try to say, if I want to check whether when I press, whether it's doing the job that I want or not. So I just print search, or let's say searching, right? Just want to print it to see if it is functioning as I desire it to be, and run this. Okay. So when you run, you go to search. Right now there is no function, but if you click on this button, you can see it on your window right here. It's printing searching, right? If you keep pressing it, it will keep printing it. Okay, how about we print what is in the text box? So what you can do is, you have the handle, which is the outlet search text field. You can simply say print search text field dot text. Okay, you remember this double. So if nothing is printed, so I'll say, if you have the value, then print this. If you don't have it, then print nothing to search. Okay, so I'm going to remove the print searching. I'm going to do this. So let's run it again. Okay, go to search. Let's print without typing anything. Didn't print anything. Okay. Oh, because it is blank maybe, but if you type this, then just printing it. It was printing blank. So we have to, it is not an error, so you have to actually compare. If it is blank, then you print this, okay? So that's the reason it's not printing this. So this is okay to be behaving like this, right? It is printing blank. So blank is a value as well, hence it is printing blank, okay? It's a good practice to have double question mark in case there is a nil value, then it will behave accordingly, okay? Okay, it's printing blank. Now if you print this, you'll see that it will print down somewhere below, but if you print now, it will print next to it. Perfect. So we are able to access values and all, right? Now what we need to do next? What we need to do is, we'll make it simple. I'll tell you the progression. We'll first do a very simple thing. You have to give the exact book name, and you search, it will search the book name, right? So as you progress, we'll say, okay, we can type parts of the book name, not exact, and it should give the value. And then we should go further down below, as we'll say that, hey, we should be able to give book name, author name, anything, the book or author, you type anything, it should give the book name. That's the ideal scenario. And then we'll take it to advanced as well, which is, as you type, it will show you what is available, rather than you're trying to remember. So as you type, you will get a list of things. So for example, if you say the word all the book has the word D or letters THE, it will show up all, so it will be easy for you to understand what is there, and you can quickly recall, and then you can select and see the detailed values accordingly. Okay, so with that, we are not going to do all of them today. We'll do a simple retrieval today, and then we'll take it from there. You know, all your data is stored in entity, right? And if you have recall, before we have created entity here, book, where all the book is stored. So we have to get everything from the book. We have done the query before, so it should not be difficult for you. So what we'll do is we'll X the screen out. We go back to our search, and here is what we need to do. Whenever search button is clicked, we need to search. So let's create a function first. So this function is for loading the search record. So give it name load search records. Make sense? And then I will do it like this. What I'll do is I'll say that I'm going to search the record from the table. So if you recall, how do you do that? You have to first get the app delegate, right? So how do you get it? So you say let app delegate, that's a variable you have, then you can say UI application dot shared dot delegate. I have taught this before to you as well, and force it to be of type app delegate, right? So typecast, this is not typecasting, we've done it before. So when you typecast, it basically gives a value to app delegate. Showing an error now, not an error warning now, because it's saying that, hey, you've defined something, it is never used. And that's true because we are still typing our code. So now what next we'll do is we will get the context. Context is how you access values. So you say my context equal to, and you get the context from the app delegate, which is your app delegate right here. If you see my arrow mark, we have defined it as a variable in app delegate, and you say that from there you need to get the persistent container, right? And from that container you get the context, view context. Once you get the view context, now you see the warning is more on the my context, not an app delegate, because it's used the app delegate. And let means it is a constant, it is not changed, hence you're not to keep changing the app delegate or context value. So that's the reason we define as let. Now next you have to fetch, right? So you have to say let fetch request, right? So you'll say fetch request as a variable, and you say that you are going to fetch from which entity. Your entity name is book, I just showed it to you before. You say book dot fetch request, and this is of type ns fetch request. Okay, where did I do wrong? Okay, book dot fetch request is ns fetch request. I think it's because we have not defined the core data. You have to have the core data libraries available to you, and hence it is not available. So these are all, this point onward is a core data function, right? So you have to have the library for doing that. Now if you do that, it should show it up. So ns fetch request, see there, and this is of type book, right? So you give it in the chevrons, and once you have that, you have the fetch request as well. Now you have to define a predicate. Predicate is a condition, right? So what is the condition we have? The predicate is ns predicate, and then there are constructor there. We'll say format. So what is the format? So we are going to say book name, right? I think that's the name you're given, book name. We're going to do exact search. So we say book name is equal to, and you say percentage ampersand, which is be replaced by what you give here. So whatever you type, where you're going to type it in a search text field, you'll say search text field dot text, isn't it? So whatever you type in the search text field dot text will come to the variable book name, and book name is what you've defined in your entity you see here, book name is this one, you're searching on that. Okay. Okay, so this is asking you to typecast this to the argument type, which is okay. You can simply do this. So it is of the type argument, which is trying to get, you're getting three warnings because none of these are currently used. They're all independent. My context, you've still not used. You've defined a fetch request, you've defined a predicate, but you have not used this. So now what we need to do, we have a predicate, the query that we're going to do, which is here, we need to say, hey, the query has a predicate. How do you do that? Say the fetch request, which is the query dot predicate equals to your predicate that you define. So you're defining that there is a condition. These is gone now because you're using it. And once you do it, then you have to do the do catch, right? So do, within do you'll say try. You have to get the values, right? So for getting the values, let's define a variable with the name book. So let's do it at the class level. Why at the class level? So that once we have it here, the tables can also see it, because if you define it only here, only the load search records can see it, right? So we'll define at a class level, we'll say where I have a variable books. Okay, you can give any name to it, which is an array of the book class, right? You can say this is an empty array as of now. So when we try, we'll simply say try. Whatever you get, put it in the books, right? And how you're going to get it? You have to get it from the context. And you say from the context, please fetch all the record. But where is the condition request? It is in fetch request. So you say, whatever I've defined in fetch request, you fetch it from the context, right? So try, it's giving error because try has to have a catch, right? So once you do that, so the try should have a catch here, and catch, you will simply say print. If there is an error, print the error. Okay, giving an error. Okay, so remove the, it's forcing this to be of type whatever it needs. So instead of CV arguments, I've forced it to this. Okay, that's the exclamation mark. So what will happen? So whenever you call load search, it will take the app delegate, it will define the context from the app delegate, it will know that it has to fetch from the book, it knows what the condition it has to fetch. If you don't give the condition, what happened? Fetch all the books. So we don't want to do that. And what you want to fetch is the book name equal to the search, whatever you type over there. And then you put it over here. And then when it runs, if it is successful, you put something in the books and do, and then your load search is over. So let's do this. And so printing all this, we are going to call load search. That's your function, you're going to call it. And just to know whether we have the books or not, you can run a loop. So you can say for book in your variable books, right, which is where this is. You can simply say print book dot book name, right? It has all the values, so you say that I'll just print the book name. Okay, makes sense. It'll ask you to force it. I will just force this for now. Okay. All right, so let's run this and see if this is functioning. We are still not putting in the table. We are simply running it to see how it will come together. So let's remember there's a dead week, right? This is the name. Go to search. Let's say dead week. I'm searching whether this book. Let's say you have hundreds of books and you're saying that, hey, do you have dead week? And you search. See, it is returning dead week, right? You say only dead, it doesn't come because it's not doing partial search. We'll run about that later on, but how about I say dead week? Still not coming. Why is that? Because it is not in capital letter. We wrote everything in capital letter, right? I will leave you with this. So next exercise, why don't you try this? You try a few things. One, I have already taught you about table before. Can you get that value into a table? Second, try two things. One, uppercase, lowercase, how you can take care of it. Second, what if you only type a part of the book name, only week or date? Can it bring it up, right? That will be the value, real value of it, right? Why don't you try doing that? And we will end the class for today, and hopefully you see that how you can query now, which you have done before, but for a different context and bring values together. All right, thank you. And if you are getting through everything else, remember what I told you before, you can do that as well. You can combine the book and the author. You can also drop down, automatically come pre-populating based upon what you're typing. You can do all of those. And if you're able to do that, just post it back in the comment section of the video, and happy to see your code. I know if you want, you can also put your code there on the GitHub and put the link back over here. So thank you again for listening. If you do like, please subscribe to my channel, and please pass on the word. If you think that someone can benefit from it, please do pass it along, so that more can learn, and people can learn coding and take it forward accordingly. Thank you again for listening. Bye now.